For being here. Welcome to the Audit Committee for the City of Gainesville City Commission. This meeting for Tuesday, June 10th. I appreciate you all being here with us. Relatively short agenda today. Madam Clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We have the adoption of the agenda.
Move the agenda. All right, I'll second that. And all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, we have an agenda.
Okay, next we have our first discussion item.
Let's do minutes as well.
The minutes from the March 25th meeting will be available for approval at your next meeting, as September meeting.
Okay.
So our next business discussion item is 2025-464, City Auditor's Quarterly Update, with a recommendation for the Audit Committee to review, approve, and recommend the City Commission accept the City Auditor Quarterly Update.
Very good. Good morning, Mr. Auditor.
Good morning, Mr. Mayor. Good morning, Mr. Monk. Good morning, everybody else.
Attendance, our quarterly update for the third quarter of FY25 is going to be presented by the Assistant City Auditor, Ms. Diana Ferguson Satterthwaite.
Welcome.
Good morning. Mayor Ward, Committee Member Monk, Diana Satterthwaite, Assistant City Auditor. Our quarterly update will cover activities of the City Auditor's Office. Since the last Audit Committee meeting, the update will include progress on audits, the status of our audit software implementation, audit issue follow-up, and investigations. So starting with audits in progress, we currently have 3 audits in progress. We have a PCI process audit, a human resource recruiting and hiring practice audit, and the Florida Highway Safety and Motor Vehicle Data Security Audit. The PCI audit is in the planning phase. The objective of the audit is to review processes and controls around governance and the effectiveness and efficiency of PCI data standards across general government. The HR audit is also in the planning phase, and the objective of the audit is to assess the design and operating effectiveness of processes and control around recruiting and hiring talent. The Florida Highway Safety Motor Vehicle Data Security Audit is on the way. The objective of the audit is to assess the design and operating effectiveness of controls relating to Florida highway safety and motor vehicle data exchange processes. The assessment focuses on the MOU between the Florida Department of Highway Safety and Motor Vehicle. Onto our audit software. The audit software audit board was successfully implemented. The software was officially launched on May 6th, and stakeholder training is ongoing. On to our follow-ups. At the start of the period, we had 19 audits, issues that we were tracking. 3 are now closed, 5 are partially implemented, and 11 are open. The open audit issues relates to GFR fire inspections. They have 1. PCR billing and collections, there are 5. SHIP and local housing assistance plan, there is 1. And there are 4 for data exchange. And just details on the audit issues that have been fully implemented. Management indicated that 3 audit issues were closed. They provided supporting documents which were validated by our office. As a result, the GFR confidential audit issue, that audit was issued in September, that was closed. The continuous audit program seasonal employee leave classification audit issue is also closed. The audit was completed in March of 2024. And the SHIP and local housing assistance plan application intake audit issue, that's also closed, and the audit was issued in March 2025. The affirmative action plan audit issue is partially implemented. This is a new category that we have here. We want to recognize GFR for their effort and progress in implementing audit issues that are not yet due. They provided information indicating that 4 audit issues have been partially implemented, and these were validated by our office. Additionally, since this report was posted, they also provided additional information that we're validating, and that should result in closing 2 of these audit issues, again ahead of time. On to the hotline. 3 cases were communicated during the period and 2 were closed. Our external audit. Purvis Gray completed and presented the financial statement audit at the March 25 Audit Committee meeting and on March 27th at the City Commission. Just to wrap up, the next Audit Committee meeting is on September 23rd. A reminder, fraud, waste, and abuse can be reported anonymously by calling the hotline number listed here or by visiting our website. For harassment or discrimination issues, call the Equal Opportunity Office, and for employee relations issue, call HR at the number here. And that's our quarterly update. Thank you.
Very good, thank you. Any questions? Okay, I'll second that. Do we have any public comment? Anyone? Okay.
I'm sorry, no public comment.
Okay. All right, we have a motion and a second to accept the staff recommendation and move it on to City Commission. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All right. Any opposed? That passes unanimously with Commissioner Eastman absent. Madam Clerk, what's up next?
Thank you, Ms. Mayor. The next business discussion item is 2025-465, use of artificial intelligence by city employees, with a recommendation for the Audit Committee to hear the presentation and take any necessary action.
Very good, thank you. Mr. Auditor.
Good morning again. I would like to, first of all, before I speak on this item, acknowledge the presence in this meeting of our new technology director, Mr. Ed Neg. Correct me if I'm wrong in the pronunciation.
Good morning.
It is important that he is here because we are talking artificial intelligence. We're talking technology. It is the opinion of the City Auditor's Office that we need to have an open discussion on the use of artificial intelligence by city employees. We would like the Audit Committee to have an open discussion on this, also the City Commission, executive management, as well as all city employees, because artificial intelligence is upon us and it is recognized as an important tool, but with the benefits that it brings, it also brings some risks. First of all, I'd like to kind of just give a definition of what we mean when we say artificial intelligence. We're talking about computer software or application systems that perform tasks requiring human intelligence. And it has been adopted very widely. I looked around for some information on that and found a very recent poll done by Gallup this January that says almost all Americans use at least one AI-based technology on a weekly basis. Almost all Americans. This is March, a March survey by McKinsey & Company says about 78% of businesses in general use AI. A more focused survey, also a recent one by Ernst & Young, says about 51% of public sector employees use AI. And you can make a conclusion that this technology is being used by the majority of people in the majority of companies, including public sector employees. So I would like to kind of just give some examples of the areas where this technology is being used. The police is using AI to analyze data for safety reasons. City bus drivers are using AI, one form of AI or other, to report on on problems and share ideas for improvements. There are some jurisdictions out there that are using AI for processing invoices. There are jurisdictions out there that are using AI for hiring purposes, matching candidates with job openings. There are so many. So the question is, with all this, what guidance do we have in place for employees when they use this technology? The fact is that it is being used. We might not know that it is being used. Sometimes somebody might use it not knowing that they are using artificial intelligence. So it is important to bring it out in the open and to give employees some guidance. To answer the question, what guidance do we have? We try to look at some statutes that are out there for the state of Florida that might give us any legal guidance in the legal environment. And we didn't find many with respect to the use of AI in the workplace. We did find Bill 919, which primarily deals with the use of AI in political advertising. We found Bill 491, which restricts the use of AI in the detection of concealed weapons. We found Bill 1680, Senate Bill 1680, which requires state agencies to disclose use of AI and to ensure any confidential information accessible to an AI system should remain confidential. And in January of 2024, Florida adopted a comprehensive framework for the ethical use of AI in the practice of law. We did not find, it might be out there, but we did not find anything that gives guidance to public sector employees, to local government employees, to city employees. And there are so many artificial intelligence applications out there, software applications out there. I listed a few examples here, including ChatGPT, Grammarly, Fireflies. I don't even know some of these, but they're out there. Copilot, Synthesia. Copilot is embedded in Microsoft application that we all use. So you can see that these applications are at the fingertips of employees, and they are bound to use them if they perceive or they think that it can be, or it can make them more productive or work better or be more efficient. We have listed here some reasons for a city artificial intelligence policy, why we think it is important to have a policy that employees can refer to when they apply this technology. And there are many reasons. We have a few here. One of them is inappropriate use of artificial intelligence. This can result in risk management and liability issues for the city. The city can be exposed to potential legal problems, potential financial problems, and so because of that, we need a policy at least to give some guidance and minimize that. There is also the possibility that sensitive information, personal information that the city receives from citizens can be exposed, and that's a matter of data privacy and security, and that can be a problem for the city as well. There is also consideration for equity and bias when AI is used for hiring purposes. I have read some articles where companies have been sued because they used artificial intelligence, and this artificial intelligence software somehow picked people, a certain group of people, over another group, and those companies are being sued. So there is also the case of transparency. It is important that our citizens know that you are using artificial intelligence to process their data. This is a matter of trust. But perhaps more importantly, is the expectation by employees to get clarity on how to use this. Because if we don't have a policy, Anybody will use artificial intelligence the way they see fit, and there will be inconsistencies in that, and that can be problematic. There is also a trend that is going on of local governments, city governments, county governments, coming up with policies, in other cases, even ordinances, to give guidance to employees. So I think the city of Gainesville can follow that example. We have Miami-Dade that has established both a policy on AI adoption and an AI executive steering committee to kind of figure this out, how this technology can be used. I believe that the city of Jacksonville is working on one, but don't quote me on that. And there are many other jurisdictions out there that I have listed here. So, if it is agreeable that a policy is required, we have here suggested some components of what we think might be a good city AI policy. And we have included some things like just the definition of AI. What is AI? And also perhaps a list of applications or software that is considered to be AI. Because like I said earlier on, it is possible that an employee can make use of an application without knowing that it is in fact an AI. So a policy would be very helpful if it can give some examples of AI software that could be used. A policy should also have, an AI policy should also have permitted and prohibited uses of AI. Where can you use AI? Where can you not use AI? That would be very important. The policy also, it would be good if it has some data protection measures, because we are always receiving people's information. Some of that information is personal, health information, personal information, driver licenses, social security numbers. So safeguards would be important, and a policy would have to describe what those safeguards are. With respect to equity issues, some policies out there have required that if a jurisdiction is using AI, that particular application has to be vetted in some way to make sure that it does not inadvertently discriminate people, one group of people against another. There is also the need to have transparency requirements, the need to have an approval process whereby an employee cannot just think, oh, I have this good application, I'll just use it. There has to be an approval process where an employee goes through certain steps to make sure that the application that they are using is actually approved for them to use. And then very important also is the factor of training, employee training on the use of AI. Some of these applications are intuitive. You get to it, it doesn't take you time to figure out how it is done. But not all the time do you understand the nuances behind the use of it. And a good example of this is the use of AI, ChatGPT, which a lot of people are familiar with. That was used in a case, in a legal case, by an attorney who used ChatGPT to make his case, so to speak, to write a brief that he then handed to the judge. Very well argued, all done by ChatGPT. The judge, of course, whatever they do, prosecutors get hold of that argument. They go through it. It is all kinds of cases cited in it. Now prosecutors are going case by case, going to see what the case was, what it said, what the judgment was. And then they end up finding a number of cases that they couldn't find where they were coming from. So they went to the judge and told the judge, we can't find these cases. The judge takes a look, we can't find the cases. So they asked the lawyer, we cannot find these cases. Where did you get these cases? Well, of course, ChatGPT had done that. He wasn't aware that ChatGPT had made up these cases. But he was honest about it. He told the judge, I'm sorry, but I used ChatGPT for this argument. I did not know, and this is why employee training is very important. He told the judge, I did not know that artificial intelligence can make things up. I just thought that it would go into cases that are remote for us, that we can't find quickly. I didn't know it could make things up. And in fact, it does. They call that AI hallucination. It's actually a term now, where AI would just bring up something that has never happened as if it did. And so training would be important, and any policy would be would need to have a requirement for training for anybody who uses AI. So this is just a little bit of why we think it is important for the city to come up with either a directive for management to formulate policies, or even for the city to come up with an ordinance. Other cities are doing it. Whatever it is, at least give some employees some direction on how to use this technology. This is my
Okay, thank you. Mr. Mock, any thoughts?
We're all gonna have a real learning process
Yes.
to understand and use it.
Right. Madam Manager?
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Mr. Monk. At this time, Stephen Mayer did introduce just briefly the new technology director. Mr. Ed Nagy is here. He's been on board for about 3 weeks now. I'd like to ask him to come up, talk a little bit about his background and the fact that he developed a policy in the jurisdiction that he's coming from, and can talk a little bit about it, but I think it's appropriate this
Okay,
time.
very good. Welcome.
Good morning. Ed Nagy, excuse me, new technology director here for City of Gainesville. Just getting my feet on the ground and learning a little bit more about the city. I do have experience writing and developing a policy in the past. It is important, I think, to have a policy, to understand what it is that we are taking advantage of with AI. So that's very, very, very important. Appropriate topic to have right now, and would definitely like to partner with the organization here and align, I think, the AI policy with the data protection requirements that we have in the policies that we already have on board. So I think that's pretty important. A little bit about myself. I actually come from a 28-year career working at an electric utility, LCEC down in Southwest Florida. I was most recently their Director of IT and CIO. So that's where I have a good bit of experience with information security, writing policies, bringing in governance. Looking forward to applying some of that experience here at the city. As you know, we're insourcing technology here, bringing that back in and building out our programs. Best practices is something that I think is very important. This is just one little small area where I think we can add some value with the policy. Again, looking forward to doing some of that, and if you have any questions about me or my background, I'm happy to answer those now.
Very good. I look forward to getting to know you in private conversation, and we'll talk afterwards.
Great, thank you, Mr. Mayor, appreciate
Thank
it.
you. Do you have any questions?
No,
Welcome aboard. I have a lot of thoughts on this. The first thought is we're all using AI without realizing we're using AI. Google searches are AI. We've been using AI for a long time and thinking about it differently. A lot of things that are now branded as AI are things that we've been using all along. And autocorrect is artificial intelligence. It's telling you didn't you mean to write this? Well, actually, no, I didn't, pretty much ever, but okay. But that is AI. And it is harvesting of data for use going forward as much as anything else. We had, for a couple of years, a data governance subcommittee of the commission that I served on, and that went away during the pandemic. It was hard to meet. We really didn't get anywhere. And I think in a broader conversation, we probably should be having discussions about data governance, about what we do with the tremendous amount of data that the city of Gainesville and every city has at its fingertips, and how we use that data. We have less of it now than we did 2 years ago because we don't have the utility. But the utility has an enormous amount of very personal data that now that we have AMI implemented around the community is even more important, I think, that be governed, but we don't do that now. But we should, I think, at the commission level, have a discussion about data governance, and this fits in with that. I think it is. I don't think we can make it separate and apart from the overall conversation. As far as a policy, I'm interested in seeing what other cities have done, not what they're working on, but what they have done and how it's worked for them. And I'm actually going to have, I'm off to the U.S. Conference of Mayors annual meeting in a week and a half, and I will ask around some at that. And more for cities our size, for our peers, than what Jacksonville and Miami are doing, because it doesn't necessarily equate. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But I'm interested in what our peers may have done. More than that, I'm interested in what the federal and state governments are going to require of us, because I would hate for us to spend a lot of resources creating a policy that is preempted essentially by something that the state does. And I'm 100% certain that the state is going to make an attempt at addressing AI in one direction or another. There are lots of ways to think about it, lots of things that the directions we might go, but I don't want us to go there on our own, because it is very resource intensive to create that, generally speaking. And I'm willing to be proved wrong. I mean, if there's some cut and paste we can do that perhaps AI can create an AI policy for us. I don't know. I'm sure it can, but I don't want us to put enormous resources into something that is going to end up being revised and preempted almost immediately. So what I'm saying is we went down the road of being pioneers on this, and it used a lot of resources and didn't go anywhere. I am for creating policies, but not for being on the bleeding edge of those policies at this point. So, but let's have offline conversations about that, and I think we should have a commission conversation in the not too distant future about how we might best do that.
Just to make a comment with respect to what the federal government is doing, I did not include it in my conversation because I wasn't sure about executive orders, how long they last, etc. But in 2023, the Biden administration issued an executive order 14110 on artificial intelligence. And it says, one of the points on that order says, artificial intelligence must be safe and secure. Meeting this goal requires a lot of things as well as policies to mitigate risks from these systems before they are put to use. This is just an executive order from 2023. I don't know if it's still in effect, but it is out there.
Right. So I think I read that particular executive order was overwritten by a new executive order that may have been written by AI, interestingly enough, because several of the most recent executive orders apparently have been written by AI. I would just caution against city staff doing much policy writing with AI or anything of that sort, because it can be a mess. It can certainly produce lots of text for you, but as you pointed out with the, I had also read about the case. Yeah, that's a fairly common story these days, that sort of thing happens. People get caught in what they think is a very good-looking 10-page document that is factually incorrect. So I would just urge everyone to be super careful before you try to use that sort of thing. I mean, if you're using Grammarly or something like that, okay. I mean, I don't think that probably changes the content, but those are just my thoughts. That is not policy from the dais. But I would urge everyone to use extreme caution if you're using AI to help you write a document for the city until we have policy in place. Any other thoughts, any public comment, Madam Clerk?
No public comment.
Okay. And we don't need to take action on this, but I am interested in having conversations about where we go from here and bringing this to the commission at a point in the not too distant future. We'll see about getting it agendaed in a structured way that will help us get good decisions made, or at least start a decision-making process. So thank you. Okay, thank you for bringing that forward, and thanks to everyone. Madam Clerk,
Next, we have member comment.
do you have anything to offer, Mr. Monk?
I think everything's fine.
Okay, I don't have anything either. Thank you all for your time and attention, and we are adjourned. Next meeting of this committee, September 23rd. Thank you.